Good morning. This is the day the Lord has made. Let us rejoice and be glad in it. I hope your morning is going well. It's wet out here today. It rained last night, but it's going to get up to about mid 70s today. We talked yesterday about the calling of God and how God calls us, not necessarily as a preacher, not necessarily for any particular ministry, so to speak, but he could call you to do other things. Like for me, it was come down here in Mississippi to take care of my mom. For you, it might be something else, And every now I'm praying for the call of God and what he wants me to do in the next part of my life. And I hope that you're doing the same thing. Galatians chapter 1, verses 15 and 16. Paul says, "But when it pleased God, who separated me from my mother's womb and called me by his grace, to reveal his Son in me, that I might preach among the heathen." Or in other words, he'd preach among the Gentiles. Because at the time, God called Paul for a reason, mostly to talk and preach to the Gentiles. Yes, did he preach and teach to some Jews? Absolutely he did. But his main calling was to evangelize the Gentiles. If you're not Jewish, you're a Gentile. So we have a lot to be thankful for with Paul having been called to the Gentiles. The call of the natural life. The call of God is not a call to serve him in any particular way. My contract with the nature of God will shape my understanding of his call and will help me to realize what I truly desire to do for him. The call of God is an expression of his nature. The service that results in my life is suited to me in an expression of my nature. The call of the natural life was stated by the Apostle Paul, when it pleased God to reveal his Son to me, that I might preach him among the Gentiles. Service is the overflow which pours from a life filled with the love and devotion. But strictly speaking, there is no call to that. Service is what I bring to the relationship and is a reflection of my identification with the nature of God. Service becomes a natural part of my life. God brings me into the proper relationship with himself so that I can understand his call, and then I serve him on my own out of a motivation of absolute love. Service to God is the deliberate love gift of a nature that has heard the call of God. Service is an expression of my nature, and God's call is an expression of his nature. Therefore, when I receive his nature and hear his call, his divine voice resounds throughout his nature and mine, and the two become one in service. The Son of God reveals himself in me, and out of a devotion to him, service becomes my everyday way of life. So basically saying this is that, when you're called of God, you're going to know it. Absolutely. But your service to God is going to be natural. It's just going to flow. The love of God is going to flow. And it's going to be like breathing, the natural thing. To give the word of God out, to witness to people, to be an evangelist, is just to be breathing. Don't be afraid to talk to people about the Lord. He's called us for a reason. He's called us to go out into the world and to tell people about him. That's our main job. What is God calling you for specifically? You'll know. Trust him and obey him. Trust in him. And I guarantee you that it's just going to come natural, like breathing. God love you. I love you. Y'all have a great day.